The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
Throughout all the drama surrounding Brock Boeser, we learned one thing. Nothing matters more than loyalty. Let's go.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, happy Canada Day, and welcome to another episode of Locked On Canucks. My name is Trevor Beggs, co-host of Locked On Canucks, and also a Canucks writer currently with Daily Hive, Vancouver. And we got to thank you for tuning in to this episode of Locked On Canucks here on Canada Day. And we also got to thank Brock Boeser. Brock Boeser signing for 7 years and a shade over $50 million to stay with your Vancouver Canucks.
Wow. Dude, that's something else. There's so much to get into, right? Paying Demko, paying Garland. Hey, paying Demko so much money. The Canucks, and this is for Demko too. I know he's on the Papatias Papalitis and he's working his ass off and he's fully healthy, but now you got to go win the Vezina, right? Now you got to go win the Vezina. All in all, though, out of nowhere, Brock Boeser says, yo, if Florida's doing it, we got to do it too. And let's take less to stay here. And I tweeted this out yesterday. And this is like a message to all the teams in the league. Before you start winning, you need players to take hometown discounts to build championships. And this has been the case in the past too. Like, we don't have to go that far, man. Like, Crosby and Malkin did it too. It is what it is. But now that Florida is exposing it and Vegas is exposing it, right? How much money they can save with free agency and acquiring star talent because they don't got to pay state tax. Like, you need players, again, before winning becomes a thing, to want to stay with your franchise. And Boeser, man, I know he's got family ties here. He's a real man. He's a real human being. Quite honestly, by far and away, way more of a human being than a hockey player. But a good hockey player nonetheless, and hopefully somebody that bounces back and plays better than he did last year, even though he played pretty good. But I hope he, takes it up a notch and plays above this contract value that he just signed for. Overall, this guy's like, yo, I'm staying here. I'm staying here for less on the market. I'm staying here for 7 years. And even though this team played around with my feelings year after year after year after year, especially this season, I want to be a Vancouver Canuck. And it really hit me, Trevor. Like, we never know what's going to happen in the next couple of months, the next couple of years. And not that long ago, a lot of us wanted this team to be blown up, and we want to see different. Okay, let's be honest. Let's be real. Okay, but at the end of the day, there's a good chance that Brock Boeser becomes, I don't know, like the third most long tenured Canuck of all time. Like, no, Henrik, Daniel, and Brock Boeser. Am I correct on that?
You could be right. I mean, Brock Boeser is already kind of climbing up the list there in terms of points among Canuck players. I'd have to check. I believe he's maybe top 10 right now, or pushing the top 10. Of course, I think he's top 10 in terms of goals for sure. Hit
but
200.
the points to me, sorry to cut you off, but the points to me, like, Canucks don't have a legacy franchise. They have a mediocre franchise historically. Like, who cares about the points and the goal records for this damn team? Shout out to Henrik and Daniel. Like, they're able to get to past 1,000 points, and Pavel Bure, goals per game, top 5 in NHL history and whatnot. But just the games played. Like, Brock Boeser has been through so much here, and I'm so surprised that, again, he may be like the leader in games played by the time his career is over. Like, this dude loves Vancouver more than me.
Well, and I think that's one thing we got to talk about right now too, is this truly is a stunning reversal. I mean, I think we all assumed, based on how the deadline was handled, based on all the rumors about Brock Boeser going to Edmonton, or, just, again, not being enthralled with Canucks management. And it made all the sense in the world, right? The fact that you trade for Marcus Pettersson, Drew O'Connor, extend them. You sign Kevin Lankinen off the street, you extend them. You make the comments about Brock Boeser at the deadline saying that, there's no market for him and blah, blah, blah. I mean, everything pointed towards Boeser not remaining here. And you get to free agency, and I'm sure that Brock Boeser probably could have gotten a 7-year deal, paying him maybe $1.5 million more a season, maybe even pushing 9, perhaps. In this environment, I don't think that's unreasonable. So the fact that he's staying in Vancouver and on a deal that's paying him $7.25 million a season, I mean, it's good value for the Canucks. And Kyle, we talked about it all year, right? You got the hesitancy from Canucks management that they didn't want to give Boeser 7 years, especially when he's asking for $8 million a season. But the fact that you get him for 7.25, that does make a difference, especially in this cap environment with everything going up. And I think with the Canucks too, the important thing to remember here is the Canucks were desperate. I mean, Kyle, we were talking on the phone last night. That, I mean, everydayers know, you listening, you know this. The Canucks have 2 top 6 wingers prior to signing Brock Boeser. It was Jake DeBrusk and Connor Garland. And then you got a bunch of mid guys, right? Third line, fourth line caliber guys. They need a center, right? For sure. Unless you're believing in Phil Elias Pettersson, which it seems like that's the road they're going to go down now. But they absolutely needed another top line winger. And say what you want about Brock Boeser, not a play driver, maybe a bit of a down season last year, not the quickest guy in the world, but he can score goals. And I would say he's a top line player. And for the Canucks to get him to commit to staying in Vancouver on a good value contract, even though they had to get a little bit uncomfortable with the AAV, was a good move. And quite frankly, based on this free agent market, based on the high price market, this is something that they more or less had to do.
Dude, and again, I do want to play like the other side of the spectrum here, but give kudos to Brock Boeser. Like, that's why it gets done. Right? Like 10 minutes before Brock Boeser signs this deal. And again, different terms, different length. But Dvorak, he signed with Philadelphia for $5 million. $5.4 million for 1 year. Bro, there's going to be a contract that's going to be signed in a couple hours. It might be Pius Suter for like 5 years at $6 million per. Who knows? I'm just saying. Like, money's going to be thrown around, and I think Boeser could have made upwards of $10 million more total money if a team really wanted to do it. Right, the cap's going up. Boeser still got some cachet to his name, like somebody would have paid up, and just the fact that he wants to stay, it just shows a lot. And I wonder, again, Trevor, we got to touch on the other side, because the Canucks historically in recent history have been so bad. Like, now they're doubling down on Garland, Demko, Boeser. Like, whoa. But at the same time, it's like Vancouver's the most expensive place to live. Yeah, if you're a millionaire, you still have good money, but the taxes rip you off here. And the team kind of, again, for lack of a better word, has sucked. And these guys want to stay, including Brock Boeser. And let's motivate the fan base here. I'm pretty sure it's because they want to win here. Yeah, they want to stay close to home, stay close to family. But I think, and this has a lot to do with Demko. Like, Demko signs the extension. Demko's an alpha leader in that room. I don't know how much the two are connected. Maybe Demko signs the extension. He calls Brock Boeser this morning. He's like, yo, let's just do it. Let's just fulfill the dream. Let's fulfill the prophecy. Right? Demko, a long tenure Canuck too. He's going to be here for the next 4 years. Like, let's just pull this off. And Boeser, who got a taste of playoff hockey last year. Demko, who really hasn't played a lot of playoff hockey. That being said, I think he has 5 starts and his save percentage is .974 in 5 playoff games, which is crazy. All in all, though, like, maybe they heard the roar of the city and they're like, yo, this is the place I want to win. And for the Canucks to win, again, I said it off the top, Demko signs his extension. He's got to win the Vezina, for real. And Boeser's got to be better. Now, that's why I want to ask this question, Trevor. Like, yeah, he signed the extension and now it feels good. And I feel like Brock Boeser just hugged me as a Vancouver Canuck fan, like, gave me some reassurance. That being said, he's got to get better. No? Like, he's got to be better. And one of the things that he has to get better at is blocking out the noise. Like, last year, him being a leader on the team, quote unquote, no Demko, Miller, and Pettersson bitching and complaining at each other. Boeser couldn't get the job done. He couldn't be the glue guy. And I think enough's enough. Like, these guys need to be able to play through the noise, because that's going to happen, especially through, the next 7 years for Brock Boeser here. And I think that for the next step in his career, he's just got to focus on hockey, man, and maintain his play no matter what's happening internally in the dressing room and whatnot. And all in all, to keep the question simple, like, Trevor, Brock, for the Canucks to be where they want to be and impress Quinn Hughes, like, Brock Boeser's got to be a way better hockey player.
Yeah, you talked. I think you hit the nail on the head, Kyle. Right, the consistency this year was definitely an issue, and look at that stretch after JT Miller got traded, where Pedersen and Boeser were invisible for like a month and a half stretch. So the consistency's got to be there more so.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you look at the last couple of years of Brock in Vancouver, and of course 2023-24, there was just no drama there. That was just a great year for him. But the year before that, he's in trade rumors. And then this year, obviously, the trade deadline being on an expiring contract. There's been a lot of noise for him. Honestly, within the last 5 years, again, all the personal stuff too with his dad and whatnot. The last 5 years for Brock Boeser has been pretty tumultuous, aside from the 2023-24 campaign. But through it all, he's still proven that he's a 30 goal per year kind of player if he stays healthy. And then this year in a down year, hitting 25 is not bad either. So again, the Canucks desperately needed offense. I think we're all pretty surprised to see this signing, but it makes a lot more sense than giving Mikael Granlund $7 million a season. Okay, Kyle, let's get to break here quick, get to more best reaction on the other side, and let's get to the Thatcher Demko signing. Again, 3 years, $8.5 million per season for Thatcher Demko. Talk about another contract we didn't see coming. We'll be back here on the other side on Locked On Canucks. Before we get back to the show, we got to shout out our friends over at FanDuel, baby. If you're betting on sports, the place you got to go is FanDuel. And yeah, the summertime, maybe it's a little slower, right? You got the CFL, you got some MLB baseball, but man, oh man, NFL season coming up around the corner. You got some futures bets there. Of course, there's futures bet for the NHL next season as well. The Canucks going to win the Stanley Cup. What? Their odds are a lot
Brock
lower.
Boeser, Brock Boeser, Conn Smythe winner. Okay, we're going to talk about it after the break.
There we go. The Canucks are America's team. Quinn Hughes, Brock Boeser, Thatcher Demko, Connor Garland. I mean, on July 4th, I'm gonna be cracking a cold one for our boys from the red, white, and blue on your Vancouver Canucks. But whether you're betting on futures for NHL, NFL, whatever it is, make sure you go place those bets on FanDuel. And right now, new to FanDuel, new customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. So open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com to get started, baby. Boom, bam, let's go. Locked On Canucks.
People, we back doing this, and that's talking about your Canucks. Sorry for my mic quality today. I'm using AirPods because I'm at home. And speaking of which, I'm at home for the last day. Okay, I'm moving back in with my parents. You know, they say chase your dreams, right? Right, Trevor? They say chase your dreams, brother. And because because I'm moving back in with my parents, you may see me on YouTube drinking out of a wine glass right now at 10 o'clock in the morning. But this is black coffee. It's just the only piece of glassware I had left in the kitchen because I've been packing up. So this is not in celebration with Brock Boeser signing a 7-year deal. That being said, like, what do you think? Like, what do you think is like making Brock stay here outside of the winning, outside of the family, right? Like, I don't want to get into too much of his personal stuff. Like, supposedly he's in love and whatnot. And all in all, like, he just seems like a family person, like a human being. It wouldn't surprise me if he made close relationships here. Why he'd want to stay here, but it must be the restaurants too. It must be some of the cocktail hours at the what's the happy hours here in Vancouver. Like, do you think it's Cactus Club? I think Cactus Club made Brock Boeser stay here. They just started opening Cactus Clubs in America, like in Miami and whatnot. I think they might have got one in Boston as well. But Boeser's like, screw it, man. I want to stay close to Cactus Club.
Yeah, potentially, man. I mean, hey, Cactus Club is a place to be, man. One day when we're making these hundreds of dollars on Locked On Canucks, it's we'll be going to more Cactus Club, that's for sure. Yeah, again, I think the Boeser girlfriend situation could have played into it for sure, right? And all of a sudden you got someone who loves the city. And let's just touch on this for a minute here, Kyle, because there's this notion again that people don't want to sign in Vancouver. Players don't want to sign in Vancouver. Allvin and Rutherford kind of alluded to that as well. But here you have three guys in Demko, Garland, and Boeser who have all chosen to stay in Vancouver for the long term. And man, oh man, I mean, this idea that people don't want to play in Vancouver, I don't really get it, man. I don't really get it. I mean, the cost of living's high here, but it's one of the most beautiful cities in the world.
Yeah.
Why the hell would you want to play in Vancouver?
Exactly, bro. Exactly. And to see it, like, even for a guy like Garland, like, again, I know like Dvorak only signed for 1 year, but if he sees Dvorak getting 5.4, and if Garland has like another 50 to 60 point season, like he might be getting $7 million next year. I'm just saying, like, and he signed for 6 year, and yeah, I don't know, man. Like, maybe it's the Quinn Hughes effect, right? Maybe it's just the city, in general, but at the same time, I do think it has a lot to do with the fan base. Like, give us some credit. We were loud as hell last year in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. That's the loudest I've heard Canucks fans in a very, very long time now. Obviously, we haven't played a lot of playoff games, but and again, I'm old. I'm 32 and a half years old. Maybe I've forgotten how loud the arena was in 2011, but just some of the chants we were hearing in the arena. Like, I never heard like Vancouver come together for chants like they did last season or in 2023, 2024. You know what I'm saying? Like, it got loud. It was thunderous, and maybe that left an impression. And this is a place you want to stay. Like, you want to win here. You're a legend here if you win here. And I just hope they can. And Trevor, we got to go back to that. Like, we're smiling right now, and we're a bit surprised because Besser signs for 7 years. It's not 8.5 million a year. It's not 8 million a year. It's 7.25. I mean, I don't know what your fancy stats tell you, like how much of a raise he actually got percentage wise, because I think he was getting paid like 6.3 last year or something, or maybe like I don't know what the number was, but all in all, we're up in arms, with grace, and we're in celebration. But we're like, yo, this team's the same team though, without JT Miller, but they're strong defensively. Don't get me wrong, like Marcus Patterson and whatnot, and we'll get into that more closely like throughout the week and how me and Trevor are actually going to buy Marcus Patterson jerseys. All in all, though, like, are you scared a little about that? Like, are we just grasping at straws? Like, is there a world where we don't sign Brock Boeser and like there's still light at the end of the tunnel because we have a faster team, a different team, there's a different leader in the room? Like, are we? You know what I'm trying to ask here?
Yeah, yeah. Again, the Canucks missed the playoffs last year, and they've doubled down the same team, right? So, look, I think last year was a year where so many things went wrong, right? I think the Canucks are better than the team they showed last year. Now, 2023-24 was a year where everything went right, and they were a Stanley Cup contender in my eyes, and they went into last season as a Stanley Cup contender. The Canucks is currently constructed are somewhere between those two teams. They're probably closer to the team they were this year, and that's the honest truth. I think they're a borderline playoff team, like a wild card team, but man, oh man, they're still. I think I saw a comment here that the Canucks are still a pretty slow team, right? Boeser doesn't really solve that. You are banking on a lot of things to go right next year, and I truly believe that Pettersson's going to be better. Can he get back to being a 100-point player? That's a question. I'm Philip Hedl as well, but he's got to stay healthy, right? I think he does have 60, 70-point potential, but he's got to stay healthy. I think the big question we're going to ask ourselves as Canucks fans is, can this team be average offensively, right? I mean, stuff like injuries is out of your control. That's going to play a big part in how they do next season. But they should have a top 10 defense, maybe even top 5 when you combine defense and goaltending. If they can do that and be just average offensively, they could be a dangerous team.
Mm-hmm.
Can they be average offensively after being one of the worst offensive teams in the NHL last season? That's still asking a lot, but I do think they're going to be better than they were, just because a lot of guys here I think will be better than they were last season. But is it enough? Probably not. I think we're banking on a bit too much, probably, if you're the Vancouver
Yeah.
Canucks.
What is it enough to win a cup? Is that what you mean? Like, is it enough to win a Stanley Cup, or enough to beat Edmonton and Vegas?
Or just not even win a Stanley Cup, but just even be a threat in the playoffs.
Yeah, because you're going through Edmonton and Vegas. Like, ding, ding, ding. Like, Vegas got Mitch Marner. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know Mitch Marner's so invisible in the playoffs, and like I don't care about his points per game. Like, Toronto's always on TV. Like, yo, this guy sucks in the playoffs. He just, yeah. I know. But now he's going to a new team, new culture. You never know. A fresh start might awaken him. Dude, and I've been to America, bro. Like, when you eat chicken breast in America, it's different. Like, the chicken breast is the size of, like, it's double the size. He's going to get more protein. You know what I'm saying? You never know. Mitch Marner may be a better player, a different player, and it's going to make it harder for the Canucks to get through the Pacific. All in all, though, I like the point you made about, and this is crazy because now we're just high off being a Canucks fan, but you're like, oh yeah, if the Canucks have an average offense, we could be fine. We'll be a good team. That's the reach here, but let's break it down. I don't know, analytically. Like, okay, if the Canucks score 3 or more goals in 65 of their games next year. I don't know, like if that's like a staggering stat that's impossible to reach, but let's say they do that, and let's say Demko is healthy and Lankinen is healthy. And again, we got to get to the whole Demko thing. You just paid him $8.5 million for the next 3 years after his contract runs out at the end of the next season coming up. But again, if this team scores on average 3 or more goals, this is a 100-point team, in my opinion. No, I know they got 90 points last year. They were going through drama. No, they had, bro, look at all the injuries they had last year and all the drama. Like, I know it's crazy how we can forget about things and like, oh, Miller and Patterson pucked everything up for this team, but it's like everyone got hurt. Oh yeah, including Dakota Joshua. And oh yeah, Brock Boeser gets off to a hot start last year and gets concussed. Like, let's not forget. Injury after injury after injury after injury. Every player got hurt on this team. Quinn Hughes was only 100% for like 52% of the season. So again, if they can play to their strengths, be a defensively sound team, I don't know if it's going to lead to a Stanley Cup or them beating the Oilers and Vegas in the playoffs. But in the regular season, this team is actually set up, if healthy and playing to their strengths, to be a 100-point team. Like, I believe it. Their defense is stacked and their goaltending. Now, I got to force myself to believe that Demko is going to be healthy and that their goaltending is going to be the best in the league. I'm sorry. He's getting paid $8.5 million. Like, I know not next year, but the year after that, I'm like, yo, this guy's got to win the Vezina. And oh yeah, he has Kevin Lankinen getting paid almost 5 behind him. Like, dude, it's there's a recipe here. Like, if everything goes well, there's a recipe for the Canucks to be a playoff team again. And to connect that back to Brock before we dive into the whole Demko thing, Brock was clutch in the playoffs. Brock was clutch in the playoffs, and 15 months ago, he was coming off a 40-goal regular season where I joked about this, but I think there's some truth to this. He was amongst the best wingers in hockey. Like, the way he was playing defensively as well, and how hard he was to play against along the boards. Like, he was built for the playoffs, and he was proving it. And it's a value player. That's a guy that helps you win more games. And again, it goes back to this. And let us know in the comments right now. Do you think Brock Boeser? I know he has to be better than he was last year, but can he consistently be that 30 to 40 goal guy that we saw again 15, 16 months ago? And that's key here, man. That's key for not only him to live up to the contract, but if the Canucks want to be good again, they need Brock to lead.
Yeah, they certainly do. And to answer that question, Kyle, I think asking for 40 is a bit much. And I think over the next 3 to 4 seasons, you're banking on him being a 30-goal guy. And as it gets into maybe years 5, 6, and 7 of that contract, maybe not so much. But I think Brock Boeser, he's got a good chance of providing value on that deal, especially when he's signing at $7.25 million per year average annual value. Let's wrap up on the other side talking about the Demko contract and some of your comments as well. I'll say this before we get to the other side. I would take playoff Brock Boeser over playoff Mitch Marner. We'll be back on the other side. Locked On Canucks.
Okay, we back doing this, talking about your Canucks. Do us all a favor, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share this with your Canuck pals. Me and Trevor with you every day, no matter what. Again, I'm moving back with my parents. Do the math. I'm 32 and a half years old. Hey, man, it's what dreams come true, baby. Dreams come true. It is what it is. Speaking of dreams, dude, I do want to take 60 seconds here, and I'm going to put Trevor on the spot too. I don't know, July 1st. I'm not saying it's like the end of the year. It kind of feels like the start of a new season, but in reality, it's like, okay, it's kind of like the end of another season of Locked On Canucks in its own way. And I just want to say thanks, man. Thanks to all the listeners. Thanks to all the fans. Thanks for all the connections. Thanks for all the love. Thanks for all the chirps. Thanks for the energy. Go Canucks, go! I think we went through a really, really crazy intense year as a fan. Like, I don't know the last time. I don't think I've ever actually cheered for a team like this in the last 12 months or the 10 months. Like, seriously, it all started in September with Pettersson and Miller having beef, and we got here, we got to the end of it, and I know Trevor and I are super grateful, man. Like, we get to. I know I crack jokes all the time about living the dream and now moving back with my parents. Well, dude, I'm living the dream every day. It's because of you and you and you and you. Trevor and I made our TV debuts last week. You think that happens without the people of Locked On Canucks? Like, to say it politely, it's not screw CBC or screw CBT. It's all the love to them, but we're not there without LOC, and it's LOC first, man. And I just want to say thanks to the people that have been connecting with us, again, making Trevor and I have our dreams come true. And I'm really grateful that me and Trevor can become closer friends by doing this as well. So one love to you guys.
Yeah, that was beautiful, man. Again, getting to do this Locked On Canucks is a blessing, man. And hopefully the Canucks can bless us with performance better than last season. Okay, Thatcher Demko, 3 years, $8.5 million a season. I think a little bit of surprise there. I was saying on the show yesterday, I was expecting 4 years in that $7-ish million range. The Canucks go shorter on average annual value. They go shorter on term, higher on the AAV. Kyle, what was your reaction to this deal? I mean, you're saying that Thatcher Demko's got to win the Vezina next season. I don't think that's the case. I actually think this is.
Come on, Trevor.
You said it, man. I'm not putting words in your mouth, buddy.
No. What I meant is like you said. I don't think that's the case. No, Demko. I'm telling you, it is the case. Like I know Demko, not that long ago, was a Vezina nominee, right? And Trevor, again, I know we got to leave in like 5 minutes, but if you open up Twitter and look at the Locked On Canucks Twitter account, I reposted something, right? It was like some analytic fancy stat stuff that was saying at one point last year, Demko was playing like he was worth $16.9 million a year. Like that's how good he was. That's how good he can be. He's an X factor, right? But he's coming off like major injuries. He's coming off an operation that was never seen before in the world. Papatias, Papalitis, Pepto-Bismol. Okay? And he comes back this year and he gets injured like 3 times. And he wants to get paid amongst the best of the best in this extension. I understand it, but with that comes pressure. It comes pressure. Like now I'm kind of like forgetting about the past. I'm forgetting about the injury history. $8.5 million. It's a lot of money. And you've been nominated for the Vezina once. So it's go time. And you look at the way this team is made up. We talk about the defense. We talk about the lack of like attacking force up front. We talk about all this pressure on Pettersson coming back to form. Dude, if Demko, I just think there's an opportunity here for Demko to be one of the most important Canucks of all time. Like if let's say our dreams do come true with this core, with Quinn Hughes and company, like if Demko is worth $16.9 million a year. Like he's like Leon Draisaitl, Connor McDavid, Nathan McKinnon, Thatcher Demko, Vasilevsky, Bobrovsky. Like if he's one of those guys, bro, Quinn Hughes might stay because he's gonna help you win playoff series. He's gonna be an X factor type of player. He's like a super athlete and amongst the best in the league. And I just think it's okay for Canucks fans because we're deprived. We don't got a Stanley Cup. We got no success here. So I want the success, and if you're getting paid $8.5 million and you're getting paid amongst the best in the league, and you're just coming off a season where you got injured multiple times, to me that doesn't say a lot of a hometown discount. I know if he lives up to his expectations, it's like, okay, there's value there. But to sign that right now, to me, it's like, yo, thank you for staying in Vancouver. I know you love Vancouver more than probably any player in that room. Thank you. But I'm begging you, live up to that contract. And if he does, the Canucks are dangerous. If Demko plays like a $16.9 million goalie a year, whatever those stats were telling me, like that's telling me he was the best player in hockey last year. If he does that, again, Trevor, the Canucks are dangerous, and I'm okay with putting some pressure on them.
Yeah, again, I just don't think the Vezina is the expectation. But Kyle, to your point, Demko has the ability to be one of the best goaltenders in hockey. We've seen that, and I think that's why his average annual value is up there with the best goalies in the game. But interesting in the sense that it's short term. It makes a lot of sense, right? The injury risk. But almost all the other best goalies in the NHL sign long term, right? Bobrovsky, Hellebuck, Vasilevsky, Ottinger, Allmark, Swayman, all of those guys sign long term contracts. And here the Canucks are getting Thatcher Demko at 3 years again because of the injury history. But, Kyle, if we want to talk about optimism for Canucks fans next season, we've seen teams in the past, and I'm thinking of the 03 Ducks. I'm going way back here. We've seen teams in the past that, might not be the best team up front. But if you have a goaltender playing at the top of his game, you can do things in the playoffs, right? And if Demko can stay healthy, he's got the ability to have a J.S. Jaguar type impact for the Vancouver Canucks if they can get into the postseason. And that's why you keep a guy like Thatcher Demko around. That's why I've been saying all spring here, the Canucks got to keep Thatcher Demko. Even though we were getting all hyped up about Shelov's in his playoff run. I mean, Thatcher Demko is the X factor for the Vancouver Canucks, in my opinion. If he can stay healthy and if he plays to his ability, he can be one of the best goaltenders in the sport, and he can single-handedly take this team places that they wouldn't have gone otherwise.
100%. And look at this comment from Ben Gagnon. Okay, Gagnon. I failed French. Anyways, he's saying Demmer's work ethic is really good. I have a feeling he'll be back healthy and continue to be a Vezina caliber goalie. I like the deal. Yo, Thatcher Demko's work ethic is I don't want to say it's the best in the team because Quinn Hughes plays in the team, but they're so similar. They're so similar, and I haven't been in the room, and maybe Trevor can attest to this, but it's like I feel like those two have the same. What's the word the kids are using these days? Aura. Like they have they don't give me the how Brock Boeser kind of he kind of fades with the noise. Even Pedersen and Miller, they kind of I know Miller's not here anymore, but you know what I'm trying to say? It kind of gets to them. Whereas Hughes and Demko, it doesn't. They just go to work. They go to work. The best teams have players who just go to work. They don't let the media and people like Trevor and I look at me. I'm moving. Come on, look at us, man. Come on, look at Trevor's necklace. Look at. I'm moving back with my parents. Don't let us get to you. Just play hockey. Be at your best. Practice hard and go win some games for the city. The city deserves it. And Demko and Hughes, and Garland, I'll throw them into that mix. Bro, they just give me that vibe that they understand the task at hand. And it really does come down to work ethic. Are we going to be the hardest working players, not on the team, but in the league? Because we know that's going to equate to success. Yes. No matter what. I don't care if a teammate yells at me. I'm coming into the rink 15 minutes early and I'm the last one to leave. Yo, Demko was willing to risk his career. Dude, I got sources. My intuition is my source. He was willing to risk his career to come back last year against Dallas, or in Game 7 against the Oilers, just to give the city a chance to win a cup. And that shows his dedication to the team, but also to his own goals and his view on athleticism in professional sports. He understands the best players are those types of players, for real, who do whatever it takes. And yeah, all in all, I know I'm putting a lot of pressure on him, and I'll end with this. And again, I think it's fair. If the Canucks are spending $13 million in goaltending after next season, dude, we better have the best goaltending in hockey, year in and year out. I don't give up. Yo, we have to. We have to. That's the expectation that is set when you pay that much for goaltending. So bring it on. Lead us. And maybe there's a reverse in how things work in the NHL. I know it'd be so crazy for the Canucks to do this, but yeah, again, I'm reading that book on Patrik Allvin. You never know in sports, man. You never know in sports. And when you get that superb goaltending, that outlier performance that Demko can obviously pull off if he's healthy, the Canucks could be fulfilling your destiny. Fans, ladies and gentlemen, okay? And I hope they do. Or I hope he does.
100%, man. 100%. And, honestly, for July 1st, it's been a bad day for Canucks fans, especially over the last 10 years. But I would say this is a good day for Canucks fans. Again, getting Thatcher Demko back in the city for the next 4 seasons, really. Getting Brock Boeser signed to a reasonable contract. Look, I don't want to sugarcoat it too much because the Canucks, if they are truly going to contend for a Stanley Cup, another move's got to come. And I don't think it's coming this summer. And that's okay. Because right now they're capped out, basically, right? They got $557,000 in cap space remaining, according to Puckpedia. They can make some moves there, but they're pretty much capped out. What's probably going to happen with this Vancouver Canucks team is train a defenseman at some point in the future, whether it's maybe Willander shines and they get Hronek to waive his no move, something along those lines. Another move does have to come if this team's truly going to contend, but I think they took steps in the right direction today in terms of, at least being interesting heading into next season. With the players that they have up front. And again, they're going to be better than they are last year if they can stay healthy. I think that's almost a guarantee, but another move does have to come at some point if the Canucks are finally going to experience some glory for the first time in franchise history. Okay, we got to get out of here. I got to take my kids to the beach. Maybe if something breaks, Kyle and I will do another short reaction episode, but we'll be back for sure tomorrow. Like Kyle said earlier, we appreciate the hell out of you for tuning in today and always here on Locked On Canucks. You can help us out by liking, subscribing, following on the podcast side, leaving a 5-star review. We appreciate the hell out of all of you. Go Canucks, go. Brock Boeser stays in Vancouver. Let's go. The best looking dude in the NHL with your Vancouver Canucks. Let's go, baby.
Your Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.